She thought I would break down in front of her, that I would crumble under the weight of her rejection, and beg her to take me back. That assumption, that smug certainty, was a fatal mistake she made. When she sneered and said, "All right, go ahead and walk away," her tone carried the triumphant arrogance of someone who believed they had already won the game. She was convinced I would come crawling back to her, desperate and hollow without her presence. But instead, I moved quietly. I gathered my belongings with deliberate care, folding clothes, arranging shoes, placing things in order as though it was any other day. I spoke no words, offered no pleas, raised no arguments. The only sound was a click of the door as I left. That silence unsettled her. I caught the brief flicker of doubt in her eyes, the uncertainty that pierced through her practiced confidence. What she never understood was that silence, not shouting, was my sharpest weapon. For 7 years, we had lived as husband and wife. 7 years of shared dinners in the soft glow of the kitchen light, whispered promises in the dark, and plans I thought we both believed in. I worked long, grinding hours, convinced I was building a stable future for us. She complained that I came home exhausted, that I seemed drained, but I thought my sacrifice was for the good of our life together. While I poured my energy into holding up our world, she was inviting another man into the space we were supposed to protect. At first, I ignored the signs. I pretended not to notice the late-night texts she hid by flipping her phone face down. I tried not to question the unfamiliar perfume that lingered on her when she returned from errands. I convinced myself that the cooling of her touch, the shift in her kisses, was just stress, a phase, something that would pass. I clung to the illusion that love was enough, that our bond could withstand shadows. But love cannot survive in lies. Love does not whisper into phones and giggle behind closed doors when the shower runs. Deep down, I already knew the truth before I held the evidence in my hands. The moment of undeniable revelation came on an ordinary Tuesday. She was humming in the kitchen, stirring a pot like nothing was amiss. Then her phone lit up with a message. The words were unmistakable, possessive, bold, written by a man who believed she belonged to him. My throat burned with bitterness. But I forced myself to remain still, to let her smile at me as though nothing had changed. In that moment, I understood that the woman in front of me was no longer my partner, but a stranger wearing her familiar face. I didn't confront her immediately. Recklessness is for fools, and I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of an emotional outburst. Instead, I became precise. I began collecting evidence. Bank records showing extravagant purchases I'd never seen, receipts for retreats at mass secret trips with him called logs, GPS trails. I even hired a private investigator. Within weeks, I had photographs of them together, hands entwined, lips pressed, intimate moments in public places, even outside the home I had paid for. Piece by piece, I built a case too strong for her to wriggle out of, a file so heavy it could crush every excuse she might attempt. And as I gathered proof, I began making moves. Quietly, I shifted my finances, funneled my income into new accounts, closed a joint credit card she had drained. I consulted a divorce lawyer, the same lawyer her own father had once recommended to me with a warning. Asterisk, if she ever betrays you, don't hesitate. Asterisk, that irony was not lost on me. While she was lost in her fantasy with him, I was sharpening my blade with paperwork and patience. The night of reckoning came. She mocked me with cutting words, accused me of being distant, claimed I no longer fulfilled her desires. And then she delivered the taunt, her voice dripping with venom. Asterisk, if you're so miserable, just go. Asterisk, she expected me to explode, to fight, or to cling to her. Instead, I stood calm, unwavering, and began to pack. Her smirk faltered, her tone cracked. "You're really doing this?" she asked. My answer was simple. Yes. Nothing more. When I walked out that night, she thought it was her victory. But in truth, it was the beginning of her downfall. The storm came swiftly. Her father, a man of strict values and family pride, called me demanding answers. I invited him over and handed him the dossier, the photographs, the receipts, the texts. As he flipped through the evidence, his jaw tightened, his pride breaking with each page. His daughter, his pride and joy, was now his disgrace. When he finished, he met my eyes, voice trembling with controlled fury. "I'll take care of this," he said. I didn't ask how. I didn't need to. 2 nights later, her panic call came. Her voice cracked as she demanded, asterisk, "What have you done?" Asterisk, she stammered through sobs, telling me her father had stormed in with the evidence, screaming that she had shamed him. He had disowned her. Her arrogance was gone, replaced with fear. I answered her panic with silence, my deadliest response. From there, her world unraveled quickly. Without her father's financial support, her friends abandoned her, no longer dazzled by her false glamour. The man she betrayed me with left as soon as the benefits dried up. She begged him to stay, but men like him are scavengers. They feed until the feast ends and then move on. Alone and desperate, she came back to me with tearful apologies and promises to change. But I was already gone in every sense. My attorney filed for divorce, and with the evidence in hand, I walked away with the house, the savings, and the respect of the man she had disappointed most, her father. I can still picture the moment he slammed the file down in front of her, roaring, asterisk, "Do you realize what he's done?" Asterisk, and I can still see the realization dawn across her face. Not fear at him, not anger at me, but the sudden clarity that I was never the weak, submissive husband she thought I was. While she toyed with deceit, I had been laying the groundwork for her ruin. Now, I sit in the home she once mocked, at peace, free from the weight of betrayal. Do I miss her? No, you cannot miss a ghost. Do I regret it? Not for a second. She told me to leave, and I did. In walking away, I let her destroy herself. Betrayal taught me that the quietest responses are the deadliest. That patience, not rage, is the sharpest blade. And when retribution comes, it doesn't scream. It whispers.